Now, you said the meal gap, and based on your website, it says the meal gap for New York State is approximately 402 million. That is New York State residents who experience food insecurity fall short of adequate diet by 402 million meals in a single year.
That was perfect, Chad. You got it. You can come work for us now.
Oh, well. Hey, good evening, everyone. Two Bros Podcast, episode 99.
7, I think. Right?
We have a special guest with us right now. We have Dr. Camesha Grant from Food Bank for New York City. Welcome.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for having me.
We are so glad to have you with us.
Thank you for having me tonight. Really excited to be talking to you guys. I'm Camesha Grant. I am a Queens native, born and raised in the Rockaways. Yay, Rockaways. We know some of the Queens guys don't consider the Rockaways Queens, but
I went to Beach Channel.
Grew up out here in public housing. Still live in Rockaway, actually. Relied on government assistance for food. Educated through Virginia State University, yay, VSU. And then Fordham University for my master's and doctorate degree in social work. And then I've been with the Food Bank in New York City for about 8 years now. Currently the vice president for our community partnerships, so is that I work with all of the emergency food programs across the city. So we have over 1,000 soup kitchens, pantries, feeding 1.5 million New Yorkers every year. So the need is real, and that's pre-COVID-19.
It's pre-COVID, right? You seem to find yourself in like a precarious position now because your job is to be around people, is to be able to service and provide for people. But now we're in an environment in which, a lot of people are probably trying to convince you, hey, you really shouldn't have so many people in a certain spot, and no.
We're an organization, we rely on over 800 volunteers a week. So during this time, we've had to make a lot of changes. Normally, we would offer what we call client choice. It really is like going to a supermarket. I can go in, there are items on the shelves, I can choose what I want, because what we don't want to do is give you a mystery bag of groceries. So we like to preserve dignity. We like to make sure that our clients can come in, choose and shop just as any of us would do in a supermarket. Well, with COVID-19, we haven't been able to do that because we can't let people inside, as you said, John. But we've had to really shift to a grab and go model. We have about 40% of our pantry that have actually closed due to the fact that a lot of them are led by seniors.
Well, how many employees?
We have about 125 paid staff.
Okay.
We work out of 3 different locations. We have our administrative offices downtown Manhattan. We have a soup kitchen and pantry that we own and operate up in Harlem. That's on 116th Street. And then our warehouse. It's a 90,000 square foot warehouse up in Hunts Point in the Bronx.
How difficult is it to get people to actually help?
What happens with donations is that I think people assume, well, no matter what I give, it's not going to be as helpful as they might need. What people don't know is that every dollar actually allows us to provide 5 meals.
$1 makes 5 meals.
Makes 5
meals for a New Yorker in need.
Wow.
And so we say to New Yorkers, listen, there is no amount that's too small. Obviously, we have our larger donors and corporate partners that support us, and they are amazing. But we have everyday New Yorkers who write a check and send it every month. For everything in between, we're grateful, and we just want New Yorkers to know that there is no amount that's too small. Anything that you can give to help your neighbor.
Is there a misconception as to who a patron of the food bank is? Because a lot of times we have this perception that the people who are on there coming in, and a lot of people don't realize that actually working families need assistance as well.
Historically, we've heard about sort of the homeless population going to soup kitchens, and we heard about soup kitchens serving soup, right? That has changed tremendously, John. We are seeing the working poor. We have New Yorkers that work every day, and they can't afford food. Somewhere along the line, something is going to fall short. And the reality is people are choosing between being hungry and hungry. And one of the things that I didn't say is that everything is free. So if you come to any of those locations, you attest to need by showing up. There's no means testing. I'm not going to ask you how much you make. I'm not going to look at your clothes and say you look like you can afford food. I'm not there to judge you. I'm there to help you. Food Bank in New York City is there to make sure that you get what you came for, and that's food.
Well, I always thought that you had to have some sort of me and John grew up on public assistance as well, and we come from those days where you couldn't buy things if you didn't have the actual book.
You couldn't tear it out before you got to the store.
You couldn't tear it out
only
before you got to
singles. So you mean to tell me anyone can pull up? Is there a line outside?
So when you come to any of those locations, the likelihood is you're going to see a line, and that really attests to the need being just that great. So you might see a line that literally spans 5 blocks down the street. And what I always say to people is nobody wants to be on that line. If you come on that line, you need food. But the reality of this, right, is that we don't know what post-COVID-19 is going to look like. Right. And we don't know how long it's going to go on. So people this need can increase and continue to increase as the months and the weeks pass. So we don't know what that's going to mean. So we're still fundraising and looking for donations from anyone who can really support.
Now, what do you in form of a donation, obviously, is it only financial, or do you accept cartons, cans? Or do you do a hard and soft type of donation, or?
So cash is king, right?
Yep.
So just
Amen.
to be really upfront, we Food Bank for New York City, we're what you would call an umbrella organization. So while we are the larger overarching organization, we do not take that type of inventory because we do have a large warehouse. So because we're supplying the network, that food is going out in pallets, right? It's going out on a huge truck. So for us to get those types of donations, we need manpower to go through it, to sort it, to decide what we want to be able to use and can use based on expiration dates. So it just takes more for us to be able to do that. So it's not that we're being picky, just that the way our business runs, our model is to really move large volumes of food in a really small window of time. And in order to do that, we need to be able to quickly get the dollars, go to the vendor, make the, ask, order the food, buy it, and then send it where we know it needs to go.
Do you have the same? Do you have a head food and beverage? Do you have a director? Do you have a procurement director? All of the facets, or who's inspecting the food? Is there some sort of quality control?
Yeah, absolutely. We're proud. We're all proud to be able to do what we do, which is help New Yorkers in need. Mm-hmm. So at our soup kitchen and pantry, for example, in West Harlem, we have a full culinary team there, right? So they're pushing out 500 hot meals a day. They're providing 2 meals a day for seniors. So seniors can come in and have breakfast and supper with us. And then there's a community meal every night. So every night we have about 300 people that show up on the line and come in and dine with us. It's a community style kitchen. And our chefs are making good food, right? We're not giving out soup at the soup kitchen. I think so many people still have that.
Right? They think that you just throw it all in a pot and whatever comes out, you'd be grateful, right?
Absolutely. That's not happening. We have chicken, we have collard greens and mac and cheese. You can come and get a real nice Sunday dinner, and our chef puts her foot in it. So, or as she says, her heart is. So I think the key thing throughout all of them is that they serve with dignity, right? And so if you go there, you are going to encounter someone who understands that you're dignified, you're a person. They're going to treat you as a person, that you have feelings, right? And that you're there because you have a need. You could have fallen on hard times.
Yep.
You could, whatever your story is, it is your story. There's no one that is going to question you and grill you about, why you're here and why aren't you working somewhere to make sure you get what you need. And we're giving out fresh produce. I'm not talking about, snacks and cookies. We're giving people food they can make meals. You're going to get some frozen proteins and chicken and beef. You're going to get an abundance of fresh produce. You're going to get grains. You're going to get cereal and rice. And
we love these diamond in the rough moments where we're able to share with people, whether we have 1 fan, 2 fan. Our community lack resources, and if Two Bros Podcast can at least share resources such as Food Bank for New York City, by damn it, we're gonna share those resources. We commend you for your efforts here. Absolutely, and we have somebody here that says, "Okay, we'll be donating tonight."
Thank
That's
you.
what this is all about.
Thanks, Carolyn.
That's what this is all about.
Awesome.
Just one person can make a difference, and
that is awesome.
That is awesome, and we've achieved our goal. Carolyn, thank you so much for tuning in, but more important, thanks for your donation. We want to thank Camesha Grant. Dr. Camesha Grant.
Dr. Camesha Grant. Don't put that, man. You know how much you have to pay for that, doctor?
Still paying, John. Still paying.
Well, Camesha, we love you.
I love you guys too.
We thank you for your time here.
Thank you so much.
We hope you can come back when we can have some more success stories. But again, your tireless efforts do not go unappreciated. We really appreciate everything that you're doing, and we wish you continued success.
Thank you, Dr. Grant. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you. Same here. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you for taking the opportunity to help us tell the story of need in our city.
Amen. Amen. Give it up for Dr. Camesha Grant, party people. This has been Two Bros Podcast, episode 99.7. 7.
That's 7.
All right, party people, go have a blessed week, but more important, be a blessing to someone else
And feed them.
and feed them. I knew you were gonna do that.